Welcome again to our podcast, Decoding Gaming Law. I hope you all had a great start for the new year. Today we'll be discussing a very interesting and hot topic, AI in gaming. So together with me, I have Dr. Ian Gauci, partner at GTG Advocates. So Ian, tell us a bit about you.
I'm the managing partner of GTG. It's a law firm which specifically focuses on technology law. That's why gaming, financial services, fintech, AI, IoT, all the now verticals sprouting out of this technological evolution. I used to do a lot of gaming before. We do a lot of gaming, but now I have other partners at the offices. So I focus predominantly on innovative technology, its effect on legislation, new legislation. I mean, right now we were planning and crafting as well the AI Act as we speak, and its effect on different industries, given that it's a horizontal. So that's predominantly me. I'm regulatory, policy, lawyer, and sometimes strategic advisor, particularly focused on technology.
Thank you very much as well. And examiner, actually, that's how we met.
Examiner,
At the University of Malta, exactly.
Teach as well, yes, exactly.
Exactly.
That was the first time we met, it's true.
So, Ian, I'm going to start with the first question. So, AI has been now, actually, last year, has been very much the talk of the town. And we've seen a vast interest worldwide. But really and truly, I think AI has been in place. For example, at chess, a computer can outwin any human being. How are you seeing AI being used in gaming?
But let's not get lost in semantics. If you're referring to AI as being defined, captured as AI, that's something which is pretty recent. And we had several debates before an actual definition came about, which is not a definition, it's more based on an output factor. That output factor was already there. So if your question is, what's being used right now in the sorts of AI as a software, because AI, it's a software, it's a mathematical formula, okay? AI as a software within the gaming industry, I can take you to different verticals. And I think this will as well pave the way for further discussions in this podcast. The gaming industry, as other industries, has been using AI, okay? They have been using AI in different verticals. So we have the verticals of planning a game, okay? Designing a game, particularly now with diffusion and models. It's becoming more typical. So planning, designing a game, okay? Testing a game with AI as well, okay? Testing as well the metrics of AI with the particular audience they have, because they check all the time, okay? This is pre-development. Once they do that, then developing the AI as a software, okay? And when you develop AI is involved. When you develop coding as well, even the AI can code, particularly when it's used as well with human agents, okay? But even autonomously, it can code. So this is all AI being infused in the gaming industry. Then when you deploy a game, even within the game itself, okay? You can have AI, you can have AI agents, okay? Within the game itself, okay? You can have as well metrics within the game itself, particularly within the gaming operators backend, to infuse certain governance, certain controls, certain AML functions, certain functions as well to protect the players, okay? Because of certain abusive gambling and all the rest.
Can I just say, you mentioned protect the players. So I was thinking the opposite. Can AI be used and abused really and truly to make a game harder for the player and increase the losses?
You can, as much as you don't need AI to do that. I mean, even without AI would make it simpler.
Okay.
You can process vast amounts of data which a gambling operator already have, intelligence as well, and metrics. So even without AI, they can do it, okay? AI can facilitate that process, yes.
Okay. But of course, we know that even though there might be abuse, there's regulation in place.
Yes, more than regulation, there it's more licensing.
Okay.
That, for example, is not so clearly captured under the AI Act. Okay. Under the AI Act, what is, for example, what is high risk? Then you have what is banned if you, for example, develop a game to exploit weaknesses. Okay. Here we're speaking on a different engine.
For our listeners, can you just explain what the AI Act is?
The AI Act is the first of a sort regulating technology, defining AI, so regulating AI as a horizontal, okay? And when they regulate AI, they regulate what is banned. For example, gaming could be if you develop a game through AI, okay, to exploit human weaknesses. That would be banned outright. You have high-risk AI, which is predominantly, to keep it simple for the audience, AI, which is either AI used in sector-specific sectors, which are high risk, like transport, like health, okay, like education, like employment. So even the gaming operator can be captured through AI output as an employer, like other industries, okay. And you have then other AI, which is captured as high risk because of the AI Act, okay. Those will need to follow an assessment, compliance monitoring, okay, and compliant assessment procedures. So predominantly that is the AI Act.
And the AI Act is already in force?
The AI Act is in place, okay. It is not as yet fully enforced, no. What is enforced right now is what is banned as AI.
Okay, understood. So another question, in 2025, do you see more development with respect to AI and the gaming industry?
Listen, this is not related to AI. Innovation can never be stalled.
Exactly.
And usually technology is always moving ahead of any regulatory ambits and even business. So particularly with what we have right now. So yes, even if you look at statistics, McKinsey and all the rest, even in financial services, again, I did not see any particular statistics as yet, but there will be heavy investment. And I think now there will be a game changer, which is agentic AI as well. So agentic AI, particularly in gaming, okay, I think it will be something which will need to be monitored. Because in financial services, we know to a certain extent how it can interface, how it can develop. In gaming, particularly because of issues you raised before, because of other issues where it might as well exploit when it is autonomous, I think it will be an interesting curve now to agentic AI is going to be it's a game changer in various industries.
To put it simply, what is it exactly?
Agentic AI is, you have an AI, which is an agent, which feeds from human input initially, but then it's predominantly autonomous.
Okay.
So within a platform and intention economy, you have your Siri and everything. Sometimes you tell Siri to find you this and all the rest. You have an AI agent, and these are all now pretty embedded even in your car.
Yes.
In years to come now, even Google, so this will be obsolete.
Exactly.
Even in the car, Mercedes has just invented as well an AI environment within the car space as well. So that with augmented reality, okay. That particular AI can anticipate certain needs you have, can decide autonomously. Okay, so there AI takes a different slant to AI being a tool. It's like a push and pull system because it becomes a little bit more autonomous.
Okay.
When used in industries like gaming, I think it will merit a particular analysis and consideration, and some legislation might need to be tweaked, particularly from the gaming regulatory.
In fact, that was going to be my next question. I think authorities in Malta, the MGA, the Malta Gaming Authority, haven't really published anything, if I'm not mistaken, or guidance on AI. For example, there was the crypto, there was a sandbox regime. There still is the crypto and the digital innovation. But I think it should be part of a licensing process as well, that if an operator intends to use AI, it should be disclosed.
If I have to be honest, I would say that I would have done it. Gaming is quite atypical. Because gaming, contrary to financial services, contrary to other industries which are regulated and harmonized in the EU, and we prosper within the EU as a single market environment. But gaming has always been something of a niche sector. It doesn't fall under the Services Directive. There's no harmonized gambling legislation. Yes, Malta was one of the first to regulate, remotely, but now we have a lot of jurisdiction coming out with their regime. So there is no harmonization. So irrespectively, however, the AI Act will affect the gaming industry, whether you're going to use generative AI, whether you're going to use generative AI with particular high-risk AI, because in that case it takes a different slant, whether you're going to use AI with particular flops, because even that is covered through the AI Act, employment, whether you're going to use AI, which is banned. Now, it is not specifically mentioned as an industry. For example, the automotive is mentioned, transport is mentioned, education is mentioned, financial services is mentioned, and there are particular cross-references as well. So there's no overlapping. Gaming is not harmonized, so it's not mentioned. I would have, with the stealth of all the experience we have in gaming, anticipated this. So to a certain extent, creating a code, showing that at least we don't only regulate gaming and licensing, but we do exactly what you said before, like we've done in the crypto, which Malta was one of the first, and I was involved in both the sandbox.
The sandbox regime, yeah.
Because of the VFA, quite obviously. But at that particular time, we catered for something which no other authority even dare to imagine. First, considering crypto in the gambling industry with all the risks, but even creating a sandbox. And this was as well parallel with all the effort we were doing on the VFA front. So that was a first. I think that added value as well to a license, a gaming license, awarded under the Maltese regime.
Exactly.
Because so I think your point is very pertinent.
So in the future, or in the very near future, if I'm a gaming company and I intend to use AI, should I be looking at whether I would need to comply with the AI Act?
Listen, I think one of the major differences now is going to be, so if you're a gaming company, let's start, forget AI. You are a gaming company, You are a gaming company. As we said, gaming we create an ad hoc regime. We had as well AML infused in gaming, data protection infused in gaming. You create a license, you create a framework. Because it was atypical. Now, all of a sudden, you have the gaming regime, there's data protection, which is aside. So you have the gambling regulator and the data protection regulator, Employment, obviously, you always have employment agencies and authorities. So even there, you need to interface with these authorities. AML, all of a sudden, we have the AML 5, the AML 6 now as well, catering specifically for gaming. So it's not specifically embedded now within our gaming regime, even though we have anticipated the curve. If you go to use crypto, before we had the VFA, but now we have MiCAR as well. So even that, the AI Act brings in a different dimension. It brings in a different dimension because the AI Act will affect the gaming operator horizontally, so different verticals. But it brings in different authorities as well.
And it depends how you're going to use the AI as well in your
different
operations.
authorities as well, because you have an authority right now, which is the Market Surveillance Authority, specifically on the AI output. If you have an AI output, that will affect you if you're developing it, if you're deploying it, even if you're developing it in Europe and deploying it outside of Europe, because you have the Brussels effect, very similar to GDPR. So that is one thing. But aside from that, given that, for example, AI, that it has data protection, GDPR, that is pretty much in line with a governance model, which is embedded within the gaming operators. But then you have cybersecurity requirement, robustness. If you have IoT principles, so there you have a plethora of regulations which will hit you straight on, just because you have that AI output. Then you have, if you have an IoT, component within the AI, and IoT, Internet of Things now is something which is embedded as well. There you have the Cyber Resiliency Act. And the Cyber Resiliency Act, you have particular parameters which are ad hoc, If you're providing software as a product, given that gaming is not the lex specialis in the EU, but irrespectively now with the new product directive, software is captured as a product. It is affect financial services. It will affect gaming as well. So let me give you an example. If, for example, you are one of the major banks of this world, you're heavily regulated on all fronts, but you're giving internet banking as a service. So the facility for internet banking, that particular facility, it can be captured as a product software-wise. So there you're responsible, any downtime, any updates, you have any liability and damage. So this is a new tangent as well for gaming. Okay. So I would say that the gaming operators, when they're looking into AI, they need to, first and foremost, see exactly what kind of interface, regulatory interface they are going to have. They need to see exactly as well their risk model internally, how that is going to be amended and altered, okay? It needs to be flexible to cater for this new dimension. And they need to apply a GRC model, which is very beefed up, extremely beefed up. Because then I did not even touch on standards. I did not even touch...
Exactly, yes. Let's give a bit of a teaser, actually, for perhaps another episode, which is cybersecurity, which you mentioned. But let's try and keep within today's topic. AI and cybersecurity, what's the correlation and how do you see that kind of marriage?
I'm going to keep it brief. I mean, cybersecurity and cyber resilience, okay? And
what's the difference?
Let me start. Before cybersecurity, you have information security, which is vaster. So all information you have, you need to keep secure, whether it is digitalized, whether it is online, whether it is land-based. So information security is vaster. And then you have PIMS protocols, you have internal management systems. You have cybersecurity, which captures predominantly the online environment. You have ISO 27001 and all the rest. Now there it is the new 29000 as well. Okay. So and you have cyber resilience. Cyber resilience is more on operation.
Okay.
So keeping the operation alive, okay, your responsibility is on the operations, okay, which is very similar to DORA.
Okay.
Services.
Yes.
So you have that spectrum there. So information security, cyber security, operation and resilience, okay. That I think is at the heart of all the digital economy, and gaming is there, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Platforms, whether you offer SaaS, whether you offer PaaS. So you'd need to cater for that particular area. AI will be affected in the same manner. If you have IoT, Internet of Things, then there will be cyber resilience. If you use data, and AI is heavily relying on data, aside from the fact that you might have as well the Data Act, which will come into play, you will have for sure as well, particularly acting as a gateway as well, the Digital Services Act, and there are specific requirements as well on code there, where even regulators can ask, okay, for source code. So it could be that you might need to disclose that, which is not even present in the AI Act. But let's focus on data. Even on data, cybersecurity risks, there are particular parameters, particular angles which you need to consider. For example, if you're training an AI and you have particular data sets, you need to make sure that the data sets are protected from what is called injection prompts. Because someone can manipulate the data by hacking the data and indirectly affect the output of the AI. So it's a new paradigm altogether.
Yeah, so it could be as well that AI would start facilitating actually cybersecurity and cyber resilience in some way.
It facilitates and it augments risk as well.
Exactly. Okay.
It can facilitate from an intelligence and threat management point of view, but it can as well exacerbate the scenario.
As a concluding remark, because as usual, time flies when you're having fun. Should gaming operators, or in your opinion, should gaming operators, gaming company, and what have you, should they start be using AI, or should they wait until it's further developed?
I would say that all the gaming operators I've met, I mean, in one way or another, use AI. I mean, they use AI. I mentioned before different verticals, different usages. They all use AI. I mean, even if you use a browser in today's world, you're using AI.
Exactly.
So everybody's using.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna.
I think, coming back to your question, however, I would say that if you go, you know that you're going to have the AI Act where you have to do a lot of impact assessments, robustness, cybersecurity, ethical, okay, impact assessment, human rights impact assessment, okay, particularly if it's verging on the high risk, what data sets and all the rest. So I would urge gaming operators to start assimilating, okay, to start understanding, to start embedding the process of doing these assessments. And I would not roll out any AI, not because of legislation. I would not roll out any AI when it's either I cannot meter the risk and I can perceive that the risk can be high, or else when I start testing these risk assessment procedures, I see that the risk there is particularly on the human, on the user, okay? Because if you use a capitalist mentality, the risk can be thwarted because you're maximizing on profit. And
Yes, exactly.
you define the balance. When the risk is high and you don't have any mitigating measures in place to curtail that. So that is the only occasion where I would say at that particular moment in time, stop using AI.
Understood. Thank you very much, Ian. I'm sure we'll need another episode to continue discussing this highly vogue topic, and I'm sure the listeners will really enjoy hearing this. So thank you once again.